Judy, you were talking about your 3 children.
What did you call me?
Judy.
That's not my name. You're talking to another lady. What is your name, sir?
Hans.
Hello, Hans.
How
what do
do
you
you-
do?
Well, some radio work in between.
I hear that you have a very attractive wife. Is that right?
I certainly think so, myself.
Now, are you happy or miserable?
Happy.
Good. That's all.
Hmm?
Now, come on. What do you want to ask?
I want to ask
Now that
you
I've
about-
gotten you on tape. What do you want to ask about?
I want to ask you about your children.
Yeah.
You have 3 of them.
Yes.
2.
2 girls and a boy.
Hmm.
Yes.
Where are they living?
Well, they're in America right now.
What are they doing? Tell us about each of them.
They're old enough to speak for themselves, I think.
Yeah, but please,
But they're
my
not-
daughter have to go away and
Ah.
sit down.
Okay.
Would you please go somewhere and sit quiet and keep quiet?
Ah, very good. Well,
Okay, but you'll take care of that.
Oh,
No, it wasn't.
you heard her for she. We could always do this, you know.
No, we'll do this tonight.
Well, go to your little girl for a minute.
Oh, sure.
Well, she was crying.
Oh, no, I know. You know her. She'll cry at any time when there's what to call it?
When they go by themselves someplace or sent out of the
No,
room.
when it's when thinks he can gain something by it.
Cry real tears?
Oh, she can do that. She's trained herself.
She's a good actress. She's a good actress.
Certainly.
Ah, no, she's a child and lovely one.
Oh, she's a child and she's lovely and I love her very much.
I don't blame you.
But you have 3 of them.
Yes, I have one.
What are they doing? Let's take the first one.
My son?
Yeah.
Or my oldest daughter?
Your son.
My son Joe, he's 14.
Hmm.
And he's just going to school and growing up.
Yeah.
And becoming a fine young man. That's about... He's terribly attractive. And he's a polite and... He's a marvelous dancer. Got a good mind. Has more sex appeal than most young men I've ever met in my life. I think he's a divine-looking son. And he's certainly given me the best years of my life.
In other words, you were
They
in
all
love with
3
your
have.
son.
Hmm?
In other words, you were in love with your son.
No, I'm in love with my husband. I love my son.
Yes, it's slightly different.
Okay, your daughter.
Which one now? Lorna? Lorna's a 16-year-old girl. Lorna's a beauty. She's, there's a lot of deviltry in Lorna. I don't know why.
Don't you?
Lorna is so pretty and such a little Dickens that you just don't know what to do about her. So I leave her up to Mickey. Mickey takes care of whenever I would have to go on tour in America and they would be left in New York. They always went to Mickey's restaurant. They were the only 2 youngsters allowed because Mickey allowed them to come to him, and they'd go to him with all of their problems and stuff. And Lorna was always chewing gum, and he'd always meet her at the... I didn't know this until recently. I heard Mickey telling somebody else. Lorna was always chewing gum no matter what kind of pretty dress she'd have on. And she's, by the way, a blue-eyed blonde. My son is brown-eyed. Liza, my oldest daughter, is brown-eyed. All of a sudden, a blue-eyed beauty would come into Arthur in New York, chewing gum. Mickey would say, all right, who are the people you with? And you know how he talks. You can't understand him as much as you can't understand me. What do you got to say next? Tell me about Lorna.
I couldn't tell you a thing.
Well, I can't tell about my 16-year-old. That would be terribly indiscreet.
Do that. Do that.
She's lovely. She is everything that's lovely.
Yeah.
She's... my children are just lovely people.
Yeah.
I miss them because they're not with me right now. But they can't be with me all their lives. I can't be with them all their lives, and I can't complain because I still have them. They're still my children.
What do you expect of them?
I expect them to be exactly what they are. Nice.
Very nice, Miss Garland.
What are they
Nice
beside
things.
nice?
What are they besides nice?
Do they have any of the trends that you have? Any of the ability you have?
I think they have their own separate abilities, Liza is a brilliant actress, a brilliant entertainer, and she wants to do that, and she's the best of the young group. And I'm talking as a professor. What am I talking about? I've been in too many countries, obviously. As a professional, not as an entertainer, she's truly great, Lorna hasn't made up her mind yet what she wants to be. She's not supposed to make up her mind yet what she wants to be. She's only 16. And Joe can't make up his mind whether he wants to go to MIT, which is the most difficult, how do you say, engineering college in Boston, MIT, or to be a drummer, because he can be both, if he wants to be. In the meantime, they're all just a joy. Yeah. You would love them. They're very much like me. They talk all the time, except for my son. He sort of sits back and gets bored by three women being around.
Judy, at this time I'm trying to do something which you might ban, and I'm going to ban it if you say so. Yeah. But I'm going to take up the article.
You're going to ban my drink?
No, not at all. Because I'm going to do exactly the same thing myself. But there was an article which told people of Denmark that you took pills, that you were found unconscious in a hotel room.
Yes, I read that.
In Gothenburg.
Yes.
What do you have to say to that?
It makes me laugh. How could I possibly be found half dead or whatever they wrote? It's very difficult for me to read. Mm-hmm. It was translated by, I don't know, somebody.
Somebody, yeah.
And how could I have appeared at all if that had been true?
No.
Now, if I were, that's my only answer.
It's a big lie.
It's a big lie, and it's a lot of it. It's a bore, it's not true, and it's slanderous.
May I say it's a bore?
You may say it's slanderous, too.
Because the name of the man is Bore.
Oh, really? Well, he's the right fellow who wrote it. He's a bore of the world to read or to hear, because how dare anybody just take that, do you know the man?
Yes.
Do you like him?
No.
I don't blame you. I don't like him either. Hmm? Is he necessary?
No.
Why does he write? And does it?
Don't ask me.
Do they sell a lot?
The establishment.
What establishment?
The Danish.
Oh, well, I don't know. That's a discotheque in there is a place called the Establishment in London. Is this the establishment of newspaper?
May I say?
Newspaper.
He is not only called the Bore. He is baptized the Bore. He is a bore.
He writes like well, not. I can't even give him the credit of being a bore. He's less than nothing. But he's worth concentrating on. Anybody who tries to just disintegrate anyone else's life is worth somebody else taking care of. I don't know. Maybe God will see to it that he loses his mind, or he's lost his mind. Obviously, he couldn't write. Bad writer. Was he in the room?
Yeah.
My room?
Yeah.
When I overtook the
No, he was in the hall.
He was
at the concert.
Oh, he was in the hall?
He was sitting right behind my wife and I.
Well, I'm talking about where he wrote that I had taken an overdose of sleeping pills and was found half dead. Was he in my room?
No.
Well, then how can he say that?
That is exactly what I am wondering about.
Why don't you find out?
I'm trying to.
He was sitting in Copenhagen writing it.
He wasn't sitting in my room.
No.
No, but Bridget was. Oh. No, Bridget wasn't for Bridget didn't know anything either. Nobody who would write a thing like that is
People
ridiculous.
just like to invent stories about people with names.
Yeah, they like to invent stories.
Okay,
But
okay.
why don't they invent the
Would you
truth?
say that again?
People just
Want to?
want
Like
to invent stories about people with names. He did the same with Sammy Davis. He put a very not nice article in the newspaper because Sammy Davis had a singer. She came to Copenhagen. What was her name? Fran Jeffries. Fran Jeffries.
Yeah,
Yes.
Fran.
She came to Copenhagen, and the minute she stepped out of the plane, this man
This Boer?
was at the airport, and he wrote an article that she was the reason for Sammy Davis that he left his wife,
No.
and she was the reason, and that was obvious.
Obvious.
Obvious because when she stepped out of the plane.
Maybe she looked nice.
Oh, but I mean, that's stupid. A lot of people look nice,
what I mean.
and men don't leave the wife because not normally. because then they would run back and forward all the time because there are a lot of nice women in the world. But he put it down that was the reason that he left Margaret, but that was of course not the reason. So you
But you
see,
see-
that's then invent stories like that, just out of the air.
Well, why?
But the
Why
paper
are they
he
allowed
works
to?
for, it lives, it thrives on stories like that.
Yeah.
All over the world, papers, they have some journalists and they just live on making stories. What I've been
Well,
reading
it's
in
just-
United
Why
States.
can't I get some of the money?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Well, I think it's quite unfair.
Yes, really.
Yes, but it is life. I mean, I
No,
don't
it
think
isn't
was-
life. You don't get written about that way.
Judy.
Do you?
No, but
No,
I
you don't
got her
either.
Name.
No.
Well, I know, but you are a woman.
Yes, but I'm not famous.
Well, but you're
Makes
still
a
a
great
lady and a
difference.
woman.
Nobody's interested in reading
Yeah,
about
but-
me.
Well, but why not print the truth about people if they
Because
don't
truth-
know
they
you?
don't-
They
It's not so
can't
interesting.
tell the truth.
Why
That's
can't they?
because you
Not so
are,
interesting.
I guess.
Why doesn't somebody try it?
Well, I will try.
All right.
Because then nobody will buy the newspaper.
How do you know?
I'm going to do exactly what you are asking about. I'm going to tell the truth. Because now, in just a few minutes, in a little less than 12 minutes, I got the truth. And I'm going to sell it. And I'm going to put the whole thing unedited on the air.
Good.
You can't do that.
Yes, you can. I bet
Yes,
you
I
can do
can.
anything you want.
Do that.
I will.
I hope you can.
I will.
That's contract then between you.
It is.
Yeah.
Between you and me.
Sure, and Mickey and your wife
Certainly.
and this lady here.
Will you
also on tape.
countersign it?
Surely.
Certainly.
Not for money,
No, because
it was very,
it can't give you the money you are used to.
but it gave me the warmth of the audience and the graciousness of it. I wanted to come back to see the city, and not just the city, but the people. Why don't you tell your wife about the hotel, about the man at the hotel who was the taxi driver that reacted?
Oh, yeah, that's
Sweet
wonderful.
man.
When I got into the hotel, in order to interview you and to have a nice time with you, we had to come down into a taxi to get up and get my car at the radio house. The two of us, went into a taxi, and as soon as we got in there, the taxi driver said, he turned back. We were sitting in the back of the taxi, and he turned back and he said, "It's an honor."
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't
I think that
lovely?
must be something that
That's very
you
dear.
remember, yes.
Well, that makes
There
sense.
isn't too much of it, but I
But
think
don't let
it can
anybody-
make up for what everybody else is putting up.
Not necessarily. They shouldn't write bad
No, but
things
they-
if the people feel that way.
No.
Then no one should write or say anything that is the opposite. The man was a genuine
He was genuine.
person. And we had barely been in the taxi. We just got into it, and sort of rushing out with my
Things.
suitcase and so forth, so we could get here close to time. And he just said, "What an honor!"
Really?
And I thought it was the most gentlemanly thing that I've heard, you know.
Sure.
And it was, I talked to him for alone while you went upstairs to find your keys that he left in his office. And the taxi driver was very interesting. He goes to France, he goes to Spain, he told me the price of bread in France and Spain is much, it's easier life. He was a very nice person and a genuine person. The people in Sweden weren't genuine, weren't nice. They were they had to be paid or hired by someone. But I wound up losing my voice to them. Now anybody who records my voice is taking it's like your husband's hand when he was imprisoned in the war. Nobody should ever take my voice and with them and sell it. Like the 26 television shows. I did 26 Judy Garland television shows. I haven't seen 1 cent. I don't even know where they are. They've been shown, a couple of them have been shown
I saw.
Judy Garland hasn't received 1 single check.
No,
Never.
I understand that.
But I haven't seen the books, I haven't seen the records, I've not been paid the respect of anyone who was working for me. I've been paid respect by audiences, by my children, by my husband, but not by the people who I paid to protect me. Now, they've got the money, obviously.
Yes.
So who booked the people in Sweden? But was it, because it was Johnny Ray's friend who got me to sign that contract.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did he sell me to Sweden? Are they legitimate people?
Where's Johnny Ray now?
Oh, Johnny's left,
Is he back in London or is he in New
he's-
York?
gone off somewhere in Europe. He's a nice man.
He is.
A darling man. Yeah. Darling man. Sweet. Trying to be understood like we all are. But I want to know who sells who out.
Yes. I think it's
Probably
Isn't
would be
every
very
star
difficult.
exploited? Isn't every star exploited by someone?
I don't care about every star anymore. I care about one woman who's married and a proper woman. And I don't want to be exploited and anymore. I like to be talked about correctly, and I'm not the most proper guest all the time. I don't mean to be improper. I'm usually on tape when I'm in anybody. I just teasing. No, I don't know. I'd like to know who sells flesh. I am sold to someone in Sweden. Yes, butchers. It's like being in the flesh peddling.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not to be peddled.
No.
I sing songs. That doesn't mean that Sweden owns me.
no, of course we don't.
I'm in Denmark. Right now I belong to Denmark. I belong in this house.
You know, all the time you only belong to yourself, but it's Pudenavik.
No.
No.
Half Danish and half English. No, but well, I guess it's very difficult because
And just say what you feel.
Say exactly what you feel.
yeah, I mean, but it's a little difficult because I.
Well, we'll get your daughter down here to translate it for
to
you.
try to, no, that's not the reason, but it's to find the right thing to say and to express it right. Well, now it's slipped my mind, so I have to wait. Maybe it will show up.
Oh,
I had it, but
You have an idea.
No, I have no idea.
I could
on
see
this
it in your
subject.
eyes.
No.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
That they both are stopping themselves from saying something that
No,
they were
we're
thinking
not, but
about.
we're just trying. You know, first of all, well, I have to translate from Danish to English in my head before I speak, so that takes some of it. And then, when you want to express it. I had it just a moment ago, but then it slipped.
We were talking about
Isn't he wonderful?
flesh peddling.
Yeah, and about somebody selling, and they were selling you all over.
And the 26 television shows.
Yes.
And you said you had seen one or something.
I saw one last year in, I do not think it was, I think you were the guest of honor at the show. I do not remember which. Was it?
With Barbara Streisand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was my show. I was
Yeah,
the
it was
producer of
your
that
show. Right?
Yes, then it
Because
must have
Barbara
been.
Judy
Streisand
Garland.
told us that she
first-
couldn't read a note and she couldn't sing a note.
No. Oh, she can sing. She's marvelous.
Oh, she's good.
Yes, that was the
She-
one we saw with Barbara Streisand.
Yes, well, that was the Judy Garland show.
But
and I produced
what you told us, does that mean that they have never paid you? I mean, when you do a job, then you're supposed to have your money after. I mean, you must have a kind of a contract. If they want you to do so many shows, then I guess you have a contract, and then
Yes.
you will have the money.
Yes,
But they never paid you.
that's right. They just
But haven't you
disappeared.
got the contract so that you can show them and say, well,
Yes, I have a contract. No lawyer is interested in taking up the time to, and they're too costly. Lawyers are costly too.
Yes, they are. Very
With the amount of money that was stolen from me, I can't quite afford to pay more
But
lawyers.
we were talking about journalists. They're always. Then there also are people. I mean, now you're telling about that they never paid you. There will always be people in show business. They will try to yeah, is that a word?
Cheat you.
No.
What?
No.
yes, cheat, that's
Cheat.
Yes, isn't right?
Steal.
Yeah,
Cheat,
use
steal,
you and then steal from you,
Yes,
and they
exactly.
will get away with it. Maybe because they also know how expensive lawyers are and how difficult it is to get.
There's
it.
always
And
a
maybe
lawyer
you
in
won't-
their firm.
Yes. And they know exactly where to go, just to the line, and then maybe they know where to step over without and getting away with it.
They know it's also things that I don't know. I'm not supposed to know.
But you are not
How to
supposed. I
rob.
mean, you are supposed to have people to take care of these things for you. You do the show, and I mean that's quite enough to do. That
Takes a great deal of energy and
yes.
time.
And then you're also supposed to have time to have a private life and to be just a human being.
Yeah.
So then I guess you pay people for taking care of those things for you.
A very high price.
Yes.
You know, they were on a weekly price, and I had agents at the time who sold me and 26 shows that I didn't know had been
It sounds
seen.
like you have been so unlucky to be surrounded by
But
people.
they've become millionaires. They're now in London,
Yes.
and the agent who booked me into Sweden works in their office,
Good heavens.
which is something
Good heavens, as my wife says.
I know. Not very good, Heaven.
No.
Just curious.
But I do think that now your husband will take care of things for you. It will go the right
Yes.
way. I mean,
It's better.
good.
It's better with him
Yes.
doing things. At least somebody's out doing something for me.
Yes, that's what I mean. Not doing something for themselves and your
That's right.
past. No.
I wish he was here. You call him up again and tell him to get home, for heaven's sake. Where is home? London.
Then there must be a. I don't know how often they fly from Stockholm to Copenhagen.
Send your husband together. I wish he was here. I don't like him being in that pack of.
He's in Amsterdam.
No, yeah,
He's
not,
in
not
London.
Mickey.
I had
London?
yes,
Yeah.
it's in
Oh,
London.
I
Michael
thought
is
it
in
was
London.
Amsterdam. I'm sorry.
no Mickey's in London.
It's all over It's all over the place, yes.
I think.
Yeah.
No, but he will be back, and maybe when they're finished, he will take a plane, and he know where you are. He can be down here in 20 minutes.
20 minutes from
Yeah.
Stockholm?
No, from
Ah,
Copenhagen.
60 minutes.
Oh, well,
He'll
he's
come
in
back tomorrow.
Stockholm.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're finished with business talk or whatever, They're talking about those.
What are they talking about?
Those sweets.
I'd like to be there to just listen, not just saying.
Could we put an ear up there?
Tell me, what is a sweet? I mean, it's a sort of vegetable, isn't it?
A sweet?
A sweet. There's a vegetable.
Swede?
Yes.
A Swede is a Swedish person.
No, but there is an American vegetable called a sweet. What
No,
is
a
it?
sweet
It's
is
not
a
a sweet
dessert.
potato you are
No,
thinking of.
no. It's spelled in exactly the same
No,
way.
S-W-E-E-T.
E-D-E. Yes.
No.
What is it?
Nothing in American. And S-W-E-D-E is
Yes.
a Swedish, of Swedish descent.
No.
It's not a vegetable. There is a dessert they call sweet.
Yes, but no, that's not what I mean.
Well, then you got the wrong
And you have
country.
sweet potatoes. What do we want?
And
You have the dessert of
and you got watermelons and Americans and rejects. No
I don't know
doubt.
what it is. I think that is sweet, yeah. Jeg har aldrig kunne finde
From
ud af,
what
hvad det var.
part?
I don't know.
Is
But
it a
I've seen a
dessert?
lot of American recipes with that name in it.
Maybe
It's
we
sweet.
own it. Maybe my early agents bought it and are selling it.
No, and in books and everything.
A
I often
sweet?
stumble over that word in cooking. A sweet.
Is it in the recipe?
Yes, I've seen it in recipes, but I don't know what it is.
Sugar.
I have the idea.
Sugar?
No, it's not a sweet. It's a sweet. S-W-E-D-E.
Maybe it's Bridget.
Oh, well, I can't follow it anymore.
Maybe it's that
Some other
tall
time.
fellow.
People
Who was
stop
he?
me
He's an
to-
absolute stranger kept bumbling into our hotel room. I don't know who he was with. The Swedish people who
There were a lot of Swedish people around the theater. You were stumbling over them at the stairs and in your room, and
Yes, there were.
There was a lot
I didn't
of
know who
people.
they were.
no,
What were they doing there?
I don't know.
Well, why did you let them?
They were all trying to protect you against
Against
Myself.
me. Against me.
all of
against
us.
me
The
too.
slam
No, against me.
in our face and say, well, you can't go in there.
Is that right? Because you're Denmark, and they're from being sweet.
Well, they thought we were maybe going to steal something from you. I don't know. But
Well,
then
they-
Hans was together with you. You met his boss, Mr. Brun, or Mr. Brown, translated. His Hans' boss at the radio. He went to, I was standing together with his wife when we were saying hello
Yeah.
to you. And that little fat,
Fool.
sweet one, he told us we couldn't get into
What?
your room.
Oh yeah.
We were not
We
allowed
were
to.
stopped by a Swede who acted as a policeman in Denmark.
Like he was your personal bodyguard.
Now wait a minute. Maybe are you sure? Cause I didn't know this.
Suddenly.
Well, what did he? Was he? Which of the short men was he? The
The
sound man or
Very
the?
short, fat fellow.
With a round facial.
And it looked like a clown.
Yeah, clown. Happy clown.
He was not given any right to keep you away
No,
from
but
me.
you see, that's you were talking about your somebody sold you to Sweden, and they look like they own you at least for that evening.
Well, I don't even.
Everybody else, even the Blikker Hansen, is
Yes, that's the
he's
name.
the owner of the theater where your show was on. He
What's
was
his name?
Blikker Hansen.
Blikker Hansen.
Yes. Oh, I remember he was rather heavy furniture. He reminded me of carrying a.
Oh, he's a nice fellow.
Yeah, he's nice, but
Yes.
he had trouble getting to me too.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Sure,
that was
the
I was
Swedish-
telling nobody. The Swedish people were.
Well, who were the
surrounding
Swedish
you.
people?
I don't know. The little one was Madison, wasn't he?
No, that
No.
He was
He
not
was-
that
Oh,
one.
he was even smaller than Madison.
They
were
look
two
so
small
much.
ones.
Yeah,
one
they look
named
so
Jimmy
much alike.
and the other one named Arky
Hmm?
and Jimmy, and then there was Leaf, and then there was who was the tall director of films?
that
Steve
was-
Well, that was Steve
Steve
Well.
Well.
Yes.
Steve
He was
Well,
director of the film. Yeah, Steve Well. That was a tall man.
Yes, fat man.
Yeah.
And then there was Bridget, and then there was, just a lot of people that I'm afraid I paid their accommodations for.
Yes,
You
of
did?
course. You paid the trip to.
That's what I don't like. I mean, if they want to visit Copenhagen, they
They
can
can do
visit
it
on their own.
Yes, they can just take the boat, and we will send them right back.
Yes, I'm glad your husband saw to it that they will take care of it, because that's unfair. And anything that they may print could come from any one of those people, because they're in the business of defamation. You know, they don't want to. It's dull to say, but as your husband said before, you don't need defending. Well, that's nonsense. I do need defending. Any woman, especially. And do you realize I'm the only female entertainer of the only woman. So naturally I need defending. I can't go out myself into the hallway and say, you can't go in and see Judy Garland.
Of course you can.
So, but nobody else did. So my husband could have done it, but that little man from Sweden shouldn't have done it. Nobody should do that without being in direct contact with me.
Nu skal du ikke putte mere på, Hans. Nu er vi trætte af det.
Let's just get a tape of you snoring.
Yes, that would
be a marvelous idea.
Yes.
Hans, vær nu sød og gå i seng, skat.
It's bare noget til det, sindssygt.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
trying to put him.
No, but you see, I am so afraid that they will call from the radio tomorrow and say, well, we have a studio waiting for him.
Yeah, I know. They will have.
From 9 to 2 o'clock. From 9.
Let the studio come to him.
But they don't do that
Yes, it's
at the radio.
His car finds his own way home.
That's what she discovered.
The car knows where to go, yes, sure.
Yeah.
I don't like to interrupt you and make you feel that I should back out of this. I don't think he's drunk. I don't think he's disorderly or anything. I think he might be.
Do you think so?
No, you're just tired. You have had such a busy week. Hans have been in Brussels for 8 days. And as soon as he came back, it was last week. Well, you never know. But at least they told me he was. And then when he came home, we celebrated Vibike's 7 years birthday. Sunday. Yeah. And then he had been busy ever since with
trying to find me.
Some of the time, and he had been in studio making the broadcast from Brussels, and normally he's not working on Saturday, but he is tomorrow.
What's he going to do?
Is that Brussels
and you?
Who gets top?
You have the top priority.
I don't know. Does Brussels comes first?
No, Brussels comes after.
Is it Brussels and Garland and Brussels?
It's Garland, that's that thing.
What isn't it, Brussels? Really?
No, the thing is that I have 2 studios tomorrow.
One in Brussels?
One for Brussels and one for
the broadcast.
They have a long drive if you're going to drive.
Go to Brussels.
But the thing is, I have 2 studios. I have studio 10 and 11. They're beside each other. The one I have from 9 to 1400 hours.
Don't look at me, I'm not a pilot.
No, and the other
That's
one I have from
like
9:30 to 1500 hours.
That's 5 o'clock?
Yeah, no.
3 o'clock.
No, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, and I'm working on 2 broadcasts.
Yeah.
The one with you, and the one from Brussels.
Who's talking for Brussels?
I am.
Isn't just talking to yourself?
No. I'm talking for Brussels, and I'm talking for you. I have to switch from one studio to another.
I was just curious to get off the subject of me. Who or what?
No,
What did you do in Brussels?
We are 2 people about the Brussels thing. We have.
I don't know what the Brussels thing is.
No, we are. May I try to explain? We were 2 people down there. A very good reporter from one of my colleagues, whom I like very much.
Yeah.
And I hope I can persuade him to do the job I was supposed to do, and the rest of the job I'm going to do in your show. I'm going to cut that and edit that.
Well, now, what is it? I don't understand.
No.
No, I don't know what your
No,
partner...
because radio in America is not like this. Radio in America has sort of gone down the drain.
I love it, so...
So do I.
Oh, it's
But it has gone down the drain in United States.
because of television.
It's bad, and it has been taken over by television. But in Denmark, in Europe, it's not like that. We have sort of split it between television and radio.
Well, that's good.
I hope so,
That's
and I think so.
Keep radio
And I'm
going.
trying to do that.
Yeah.
I'm doing your show tomorrow.
Who's your partner? My husband?
No.
He could work for you in Stockholm tonight.
I have him on the tape, and
Have
he's
you?
all right. So you know that.
I'd like to hear him.
Okay.
Can
A
I?
little while. Certainly.
Okay.
You heard it already.
I'd love to hear it.
But I'm going to do it once more if you want to.
I love it. He's so funny. He kept bumbling into our...
Oh, he was wonderful.
And
So he
I was trying
came
to...
on the tape.
Yes, and I got a coughing fit.
Yes.
And I was trying to give proper answers, and I had just met your husband, and my husband had been telling me lovely things, and I knew that I was meeting a fine gentleman. With that, my husband went off to get ready to go to Stockholm. And I was talking with your husband, and I was dressed and packed away to go to London. We were supposed to go to London. And I was in in my husband's favorite dress that he had chosen, which is a mini skirt, and it's cold in the hotel. It's cold as the devil, but
And it
instead
sure
of-
was short.
Well, he likes it, but he
I
made
don't
me
blame him.
change it to come out. He said I could wear it around him or something. So he chose that, and we were going to go to London. So I sat in the room and waited for a cue from one of the maids, who had to be sent out to ask my husband if I could come into the room. You know, you don't... so I came in. Your husband was on the phone, and my husband just seemed to be busy being concerned about Stockholm. And I said, did we work there yet? Or who do I say hello to? And then your husband took over. And we started talking. My husband disappeared to get ready, and I didn't know where we were going, to London or whether we were going to stay in Copenhagen. Or what was going on, and I got a coughing fit. I tried, when you get a bad coughing, and because it was freezing cold. Frankly, my dress was so short that I was answering your husband, going, "Why did my husband ask me to wear this dress?" And it was a little tiny skirt, and I suddenly started to cough, and I had to ask Hans to cut the tape, and he said, "No, it's charming when you cough." And I he did cut the tape. So I went on and coughed a lot and came back. My husband continually interrupted, I think rather charmingly.
He did. You're going to hear that right now.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.